Now up, we have more amazing talks ready for you. So the next up will be a talk with a very interesting title: Create Smart Angular Apps using the Azure Computer Vision by Ankit Sharma. Please, everyone, let's welcome Ankit. Hey Ankit, welcome. How are you doing?
Hi, Thomas. I am doing good. How are you doing?
Oh, also good. Very, very curious about your talk actually. But please, I kind of forgot. It's kind of my fault. So, like, let me just take a step back and introduce you again. So, Ankit is a software development engineer at Cisco, Google developer expert for Angular, Microsoft MVP, author, speaker, and a passionate programmer. I would say that's like a very impressive bio. So, how do you get the time to do all these things actually?
Yeah, actually, I find some time, mostly on weekends and holidays. And actually, I love to do the community work. And I always believe that as a tech enthusiast, it is our responsibility to share our knowledge with others. So I am privileged that I got a good job at a good company, and I am exposed to enterprise level application. But everybody does not have that privilege. So whatever I am learning, I want to share with everyone so that they can also learn from my experience, and they can also grow in the development world or the IT world. So that is the my main motive. And regarding the time, I mostly do on weekends whenever I find time. So that is how I plan the things.
Sounds amazing, and I do believe that this kind of sharing can inspire other developers to share even more so that we can all level up and deliver even better stuff for our users. So please, let's not delay any further and let's hop straight into the talk to learn more about the Angular apps and the computer vision. Here you go.
Yeah, let me share my screen.
All right.
Let me know once you share see my screen.
Uh-huh. So Julia, does this work? Perfect. It's coming. Perfect. So let's just start.
So am I good to go?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Thank you, Thomas. So, hello everyone. My name is Ankit, and today we are going to learn how to create a smart Angular application using Azure Computer Vision. So let me introduce myself. I am a software development engineer 3 at Cisco Systems India. I am an author and a speaker. I am a Google developer expert for Angular and a Microsoft MVP for developer technology. I also blog at my personal blog ankitsharmablogs.com. I write frequently about the .NET technology. On the UI side, I write about Angular and related JavaScript frameworks. So let us understand first what is computer vision. Computer vision is an AI service which analyzes the content in images. It is very easy to integrate with our application with the help of a simple REST API call. A computer vision service can run on cloud as well as on premise within the container such as Dockers. The computer vision provides us with three services or three APIs as we can see. One is called optical character recognition, in short OCR. Then we have an image analysis API, and then we have a spatial analysis API. Let us understand these APIs in detail. So the OCR API or the OCR service is used to extract text from an images. It uses deep learning based models and works with text on a variety of surfaces and background. So Microsoft has specified few of the some of the image requirements which can be used with the OCR API. The format of the image allowed is JPEG, PNG, BMP, PDF, or TIFF only. We cannot use image of any other type. The dimension of the image should be between 50 and 50 to 10,000 into 10,000 pixels, and the file size must be less than 50 megabytes. For the image analysis API, this is a service which is used to extract visual features from the images. It can determine whether an image contains adult content, find a specific brands or object, or also find human faces over there. The image requirement for the image analysis API is that the format should be JPEG, PNG, GIF, or BMP. The dimension must be greater than 15 to 50 pixel, and the file size must be less than 4 MB. So this is very much important to note that if we exceed the file size, we will get an API error, because we cannot transfer the file size more than 4 MBs to our image analysis API. Finally, we have the spatial analysis service. The spatial analysis service is used to ingest streaming videos from cameras, extract insights, and generate events to be used by other systems. This service detects the presence and movement of people in a video. So spatial analysis is mostly used for to analyze a video. We can use this to detect the presence of face mask on the face of a people. We can use this API to generate to detect the videos which is streamed via a CCTV footage, and we can use this in a store, or maybe some kind of shops where we can analyze that the people who are entering the shops are using a face mask or not. So these kind of features we can use with a spatial analysis. So to use our Azure Cognitive Service APIs, we are going to create a .NET backend, and on the UI side, we will be using Angular. So the architecture of the application is that on the backend using .NET, we are going to make an API call to our Azure Computer Vision, and from the front end, that is Angular, we are going to upload a file, or I will say upload an image. The image will have some text written over there. We will send that image to our .NET backend. Then the .NET backend will convert those images to bytes and send to our Azure Computer Vision, which is hosted on the cloud, Azure cloud. And then it will analyze the content of the image and send us back the text which is present in the image. We will then create we will then format the text. We will learn how to format the text in some after few minutes, and then we will send that text back to our Angular front end, which will be then displayed on the UI. So in short, we are going to upload an image having some text on it. Our application will extract the text as well as show us the language of that text. For that, since we are using a .NET backend, therefore we have to use Visual Studio 2019. And while installing Visual Studio 2019, we have to use ASP.NET and web development workload. We also need an Azure subscription account. So we can create a free Azure subscription account at azure.microsoft.com, and it's a kind of freemium service. So some part of the services will be free and some part will be paid. So for the first month, you can get a completely free subscription where you can use all the services up to $300. We are also going to install a NuGet package that is called microsoft.azure.cognitiveservice.vision.computer vision. This library provides us the access to the Microsoft Cognitive Service Computer Vision APIs. So we can install this using the command which is shown over there, and you can also go to the NuGet library and you can search for the package and download it from there. So let us see the demo. So let me go to my website, which is Azure service. So here I am at the Azure portal. So first step is to create a API service. So I am going to search for computer vision. So here you can see we are getting the computer vision. Click on that. Now we will click on create. Okay, it is taking a few minutes to load. Now here it is asking, it is saying create computer vision. Now here we have to fill out few details. So first of all, we are going to select the subscription name. Then we have to select a resource group. So I will be using an existing resource group that is called cog services, which I have created already. If you do not have a resource group, you can click on this create new link to create a new resource group. Then in the region, select the region which is nearest to you. So for me, I will be selecting Central India. Then in the name, you have to give a universally unique name. So I will use Angular Day Demo. Let's hope this name is available. Yeah, you get a green check. This means the name is available. Then pricing tier, so there are different pricing tiers. So I will be selecting the free tier first for this demo. You can select the pricing tier as per your requirement, and you can use this particular link to see the details of the pricing tier. Then click on these buttons. All network, everything is good. Let's keep all these things as it is. There no need to do any other changes. Finally, click on the go to review plus create tab, and just review everything which you can see over here. So you can see that all subscription name, reason, pricing, everything is good. Click on the create button. So once we click on the create button, the deployment of the computer vision service will start. It will take a few minutes to complete. Let's wait for a few minutes. And you can see this progress over here in the notification bar over here. It is showing deployment in progress. So it will take a minute or so, not more than that. Okay, so deployment is complete. We'll click on go to resource button. So we'll see the details of our computer vision API service. Here you can see the name which you have created Angularday demo. Now on the left menu there is a link called keys and endpoint. Click on that. And in this page you can see it is showing keys and the endpoint as well. So for now I will leave this tab open, and when we'll go to the coding part we will be needing this key and endpoint details, so we'll be copying at that moment. So let me navigate to the API structure, sorry, the JSON structure of this to the response. So let us understand this. So when we are sending an image to the Azure Computer Vision, and when it is sending a response back, it is responding us in a form of JSON, and this is the structure of JSON. We have to understand this JSON structure so that we can manipulate the data as per our requirement. So let us understand this JSON structure. So it is sending us the language. So language is sent as a code. En stands for English. Then text angle, which shows us if the text is rotated or not. Then orientation, which shows that the orientation of the image is what, up or down. And then reasons. So how it works is that it will send you the reason and the bounding box of all the words which is shown in the image along with the coordinates. So this is the coordinates. Now here you can observe that we have a object called lines. Inside lines we have an object called words, and inside words, which is an array, we have all the words. So for example, this word one word called ones, then you, replace, negative. Now this particular line is ended. Again, next line. So similarly, for every line it will give us the details of the words and their coordinate. Now how we are going to manipulate the data? First of all, we want to show the language. Now language is shown as En, but we cannot show En or the code to our end user. We have to show the full name, that is English or French or whatever the language the text is from. So for that we have to do the manipulation. Second manipulation which we have to do is about the text. Now we are getting the text which is divided in words, but we cannot show this to the user. We have to show the uh, text as it is, which is mentioned in the image, having line breaks at the same point. For that we have to iterate over this JSON, and then we have to create the sentence structure in our code base, and then we have to display on the UI. So these two manipulation which we have to do after we get this JSON from our Azure Computer Vision. So we'll see how we will do that. So let me move to my backend code. So this is a standard .NET application. Currently I'm using .NET 5 because .NET 6 is being released recently, I think few days back, and I didn't get a chance to update the code, and that's why it is .NET 5, but the working will be same in .NET 6 also. This is the core functionality. So here we have created two models, which is for available language and there is for language details. So in the language details, we have name, native name, and directory. So these details are model is created so that we can bind the data to the JSON. Then we have DTO models, which is data transfer object model. We will use this model to transfer the data to our UI. And the our point of discussion is this controller. So one more thing I forget to say that in this in this application, the client app folder contains our UI code, that is the Angular code. So this whole client app folder has the UI code, other part is our the backend code. So let us understand the controllers part. So the controller will have our API controller, and here you can see that we have created a constructor, and I'm providing the subscription key and endpoint. Now from where we will get that? So we will get that from our Azure. So here you can see there are two keys shown. So I will copy one key. You can use any of the two keys available. So there are two keys shown over there. You can use any one of them. And then endpoint. So this endpoint is already created. Copy that. And then again, we'll put it over here. So we have initialized the value. This is very much important to note that you have to put the correct subscription key and correct endpoint. Otherwise, your API call will fail. So let us go to bottom of this, and okay, let me explain this get available language method. So I discussed that we are getting data we are getting JSON data, and in the JSON data we are getting the language code, but we cannot show the language code. We have to show the language name. But to show the language name corresponding to a language code, we need a dictionary, or key value pair, which has all the language code and their corresponding language name. So from where we can get that? So therefore, Azure Computer Vision does not have any API which provides us the key value pair for the language code. So we are using the translation Microsoft Translator API endpoint. So Microsoft provides a lot of cognitive services API. Microsoft Translator is one of them, which allows us to translate text from one language to another. So we are using the endpoint of Microsoft Translator, which is written over there, to fetch the list of a language key value pair. So here we are creating a HTTP client endpoint, and we are sending a async request, and then we are getting the data in form of JSON. We are deserializing it, and then here we are using a for each loop, and we are creating a object of type available language DTO, which contains the language ID and the language name. So this is how we are creating our dictionary, which contains the key value pair for our language name and their corresponding keys, and then we will be returning over there. Next we have a authenticate method. So authenticate method will take our endpoint and the key, and it will be used to authenticate our computer vision client using the endpoint and the key value which we are passing. And here in the post request, these are post request. So we'll be hitting this post API from our UI, and inside this you can see that we are first checking if the image data is available or not. If the image data is available, we are calling read text from stream method. Let's see what is happening inside that method. In the read text from stream method, we are passing a stream of image data using as a type stream. And inside that, first of all, we are authenticating our client using the endpoint and the subscription key which we have defined. And then we are calling this method called recognize printed text in stream async. So this is the API method which is provided to us by Azure Computer Vision, which will get the which will recognize the printed text in a stream. So as the name suggests, and it is an async method. Now it is taking two parameter. One is called true. So true, it is a Boolean parameter. So the first Boolean parameter is used to check the orientation of the image. So if you remember, in our JSON, we are also checking the orientation. It is up or down. So we are using this, we are passing true, so to check the orientation, and then we are passing our image a stream of image data. It is returning us the result in form of in an object of type OCR result, and we are returning that result from this method. Now we got this OCR result object. Now this OCR result class is provided us from the NuGet package that we have installed, and that NuGet package provides us this already available classes which we can use for the data binding. Now this logic, the if else part, is our second manipulation which I discussed to reconstruct the sentence. So here you can see we are getting if the count is greater than 0, which means the data is available, we will iterate over the lines, then we will iterate over the words, and then we'll use a string builder to iterate the text. And once that word is finished, since this is a we have to provide a space between the words, so we are appending a empty space also. So let's see over the JSON. Inside the JSON we have the word or words object, which is an array. Inside that we have multiple words, so we will be iterating over there as a part of inner loop, and from the outer loop we will be iterating over lines, which is also an array. So that is how our this core logic of sentence formation is working. Now if the count is not greater than 0, which means there is empty data, there is no text in the image, we'll just see that this language is not supported, or we'll just return an error. Finally, we'll sending the detected text and the language as well. So you can see this language is returned over here, which is the key. So we'll be sending key from here, and using another API, which is this get available language API, we are sending the key value pair dictionary. Now on the UI we will be using key from this, and we will look up into that dictionary to fetch the value. And then we have done some exception handling, and if there is any error, we'll send the error message and we'll send the language to unknown. And that is how we'll, and then we'll return the OCR result DTO to our the callee method. So that is how our backend will work, like the our API part. Now let us move to the UI part, the Angular part, to understand how the UI is configured. So just to reiterate the things, the UI code is available in the client app folder, and for the simplicity and ease of use, I have opened that in the Visual Studio Code, which is a separate IDE. Here we have created two models, which is available language model. Another one is OCR result for data binding. It is same as our DTO method, which we have created on the backend. So it is accepting language ID and name, and it is accepting the language and detected text. We also have a computer vision service, and this service is making API calls to our backend API. And here we have defined the base URL, which is API/OCR, and then we'll be calling our base URL to get the get available language, and then we'll call get text from image, and we are passing the image data over here, which is a kind of form data which we are getting. We will be calling these both methods from our components. So let's move to the component part. So this is our component. So let us understand this. Now inside the constructor we have initialized few values. So first is the default status, which shows that the maximum size allowed for image is 4 MB. So we are restricting a 4 MB upload limit, and that's why we have defined a variable called max size file size, and it is showing us the number of bytes allowed. Now, inside the ng on init, here we are fetching the list of available languages. So this will be calling the get available language method of our service, which is over here, and this will invoke our this endpoint get available language endpoint, since this is HTTP get, and we are invoking it from here, and it will fetch us the list of language and key value pair of the language and their corresponding code. So we are fetching this from here. Now we have a upload image method. So here we will be checking if here we have a bunch of if else statements. So first of all is we will check if the image file which is uploaded, the size, if the size is more than the allowed file size, which is max file size, we'll set the status and we'll set the valid file to false and will return. Similarly, if the image file type is not equal to image, for example, if the user has uploaded a text file, in that case also we are not allowing it, we are allowing only the image files. That is why we have we'll check have a check for that as well, and we'll set the status to please upload a valid image file, and we'll set the is valid file to false. If all these checks passed, we'll finally go for the positive case scenario. We'll open a file reader, we'll read the file as a data URL, and then we'll set the image preview also, which will be shown on the UI, and then we will show the image on the UI. So as the user uploads the image, it will also see the image preview. So you will understand this in a bit more clarity once we show the demo. Now this is the get text method. This get text method will be called once the image upload is successful. So inside that we will get the image data. We are appending the image data as a file, image file, and then we are calling our service get text from image, the method get text from image from our computer vision service, and we'll pass the image data. Now inside this service inside this function call, you can see that it is of type form data, and it is doing a post call to our backend API. And in the post method, you can see we have this post method. So we'll be invoking this API. Now we'll get the data. Now we'll get a response, and in the response here you can see, okay, let me break the line for clarity. Here you can see that we'll get available language detail, and in the available language detail we will find the language in our available language API, sorry, available language array. And if the language is available, will show the detected text language as the language name. So this is the place where we are checking the language name in corresponding to the key value pair which we got in the available to in the available to the sorry in the available language details function. Now if the language is not available, this means there the language is not supported and the backend has returned unknown. In that case, we'll show the detected text to unknown, and this is the loader which will be showing. Finally, we have ng on destroy to clear all the subscription. Let's go to the HTML. So in the HTML, HTML is very simple and straightforward. So here we have a input, and on the input, as we change, we'll call the upload image method, which will check for the image size and the image type. And if it is a valid image, it will show us the preview, which will be shown over here using the image preview. And if everything is good, we have a button. The button on click will get call the get text method, which will send the image data to backend and fetch the results. Now let us run this application and see it in action, and then again we'll go walk through the code to have a better understanding. So we'll go to Visual Studio and click on the run button to run it. So let's wait for it to run and we'll see. Okay, so build is successful. It is taking a minute to load. So when the application is launched, there is a console open. Here you can see the output from our application. So if any error happens while loading, it will be shown in the console. Okay, it is taking a minute. Let's give it some more time. Let me close this and try to run it again. Let's try to run it again. Sometime it happens, but it will work. Okay, it is taking a bit longer time, but let's wait. It should work. Okay, this is unfortunate, but it should work. Let's I don't know what is showing loading. It is showing generating browser application bundle. Okay, let's wait for a minute. Okay, it is showing timeout exception. Okay, let me try again. This There is some issue. Just give me a moment. It should work. I don't know why it is giving exception here.
Hey Ankit, I was just
Yeah.
thinking like maybe we could try to debug this. Like, is it possible to start the backend and the front end in the separate consoles?
No, actually, this issue is coming from the back end. It should it has to launch. Yeah, it is working.
Works.
Yeah, yeah, it
Work.
works. Yeah,
Perfect.
there are sometimes there is a bit delay, so that is fine. We can continue. Yeah.
All right.
So
Perfect.
yeah, so the application is launched, and you can see on the nav bar here we have a computer vision link. We'll click on this, and we will be navigated to our UI. So this is how our UI looks. So on the left side we have a text box. So the output will be shown over here. We'll show the detected text over here, and this is the place where we'll upload the image. Now here you can see we are showing the default status, which is maximum size allowed for image is 4 MB. Let's click on choose file. We'll upload this file. Now here you can see it is showing the uh, uh, it will showing the uploaded image also, so I am able to see the preview. Now click on extract text, and let's hope we'll see the result. So now here you can see, let us analyze the output. First of all, we are getting the result here and the detected text English. So this is working fine. That is one thing. Second thing, if you look at the text, so that this is a quote and this is the author name. So the quote is in all uppercase and the author name is in normal case. So the output is also in the same manner. That quote is in the uppercase and the author name is in the normal case. Now here you can see we have all the line breaks at the correct point as shown in the image. This is happening because we have done our checks over here. We have created the line from the words in our this code logic. That is how we are getting the data. And on the UI, let us debug the code a bit. On the UI, here we are getting the result, and then here we are checking the available language from our uh, uh, dictionary or the lookup table. And if the language name is available, detected text language is available, we are showing the language name, which is detected text language, and this is then shown on our UI over here, and this is shown in the UI over here, which is English. So the backend is returning me en. However, using the lookup table, we are corresponding value is English for en, which is shown over here. So this is one positive case scenario. Let us check another positive case scenario, which is a French language. So this is a French language text. Click on extract text, and we get the output. Here you can see the text is shown as it is, and we have the detected language as French. So these are the two positive case scenarios. Now let us check few negative case scenarios. Now I will upload a high resolution image. This image is of 9 megabytes, but we can see it is not allowing us to upload, and we are not able to see the preview, and we are getting a message the file size is more than the allowed limit. So that is why we are not allowing more than 4 MBs. Next is Hindi language. So Hindi is my mother tongue, but unfortunately this is not supported by the Azure CV. So let's see what happens if we upload a text which is not supported. Now we are getting a message as this language is not supported, and since the language is not supported, the detected language is unknown. So how this is working? So this is working from here. If the count is not greater than 0, which means the API has not returned anything, which means that the text is not detected. That's why we are showing the language is not supported. And on the UI, we are setting the language to unknown over here because the language is not available in our response. And finally, we'll see a image which has no text. So you can see there is no text on the image. If I click on extract text, we'll see the exact same output. The language is not supported and unknown because the our API is not able to find if there is a text here, if there or if the language if the language since there is no text available, so we are unable to determine the language or the content. Now there is one more check is if I am uploading a text file. So this is a text file. If I upload this, you can see that we are getting an error as please upload a valid image file. So that is how we have verified all the possible scenarios, and that is how we have make our Angular application smart using Azure Computer Vision. We have uploaded an image with a text on it, and we have sent that image as a stream to our Azure Computer Vision. It has extracted the text from that image and sent us a response, JSON response. We manipulated a JSON response and then show the output on our UI to our end user. Now, before I finish my talk, I want to share few resources for this talk. So if you go to the if you want to see the source code of this application, you can go to this bit.ly link, bit.ly smart angular app, and you can also go to my blog, Ankit Sharma blogs, where you can learn more about .NET and other Azure Computer Vision also. And I also write on Angular, so you can learn a lot about Angular technology also. So that is all from my end. Thank you all for joining.
Hey Ankit, thanks for a very cool talk. So first of all, before we jump into Q&A, folks, do not hesitate and please ask question in the Q&A area so that we can forward them to the Ankit. And we already have the first question. What happens if it finds multiple languages in a single picture?
Okay, so we have APIs for that as well. So the API which I have shown currently does not support multiple language, but there is an OCR API which support multiple language in a same text file. Same image file. So we have to use that. So as I showed that there are multiple services provided by computer vision. So if you are expecting that your customer is uploading an image with multiple languages, then you can use that separate API, which is the OCR API.
Sounds very good. So hopefully, Monica, this answered your question. Up next, we have a question for Giacomo. Can we use the computer vision APIs directly from the Angular application without the need to have a backend to rely on? So this is actually something which I also wanted to ask. So thank you very much, Giacomo, and let's hear the
Yeah,
answer.
I will tell you the answer for that. So there are I will show you the code. I will explain you the answer. So this is the one reason. I don't want to keep this in UI. Yeah, I know there are ways where you can use key vault, some vaults, or maybe store this image in some kind of file. But I don't want to put my subscription key and endpoint on the client side for safety reasons. That is one thing. Second thing is here you can see we are doing a lot of manipulation, and we got JSON. Yeah, we have newtonsoft.json APIs, using which we are easily deserializing and serializing the uh, JSON data which we are getting. So these are the two reasons I prefer a .NET backend, since there is some complexity involved using deserialization, and we are also using some loops to do some kind of manipulation, and we are also having some secret data which we don't want to share with everyone. That is why I always prefer a backend. However, you can also use front end. There will not be any problem, but the effort will be more as compared to using a backend.
Thank you very much for the answer. So hope that answers it. Now we have a question from Massimo. Uh, Is this all doable on other platforms other than Windows, like Mac or Linux, installing packages using VS and the sort? So
Yes.
basically, and this maybe can be also extended, like if we can use different kind of backends, if there is like some official support with the libraries for like a Node or Java or whatever have you.
Yes, you are absolutely correct. .NET is a cross-platform framework. We can use .NET on Mac as well. For Mac, there is a separate IDE called Visual Studio for Mac. You can install it and you can use it. And Visual Studio Code is an optional IDE. You can directly open this in client app folder, source. You know, all your component is available over here in the same IDE. I just showed Visual Studio Code just for simplicity purpose. There is no exact there is no actual use of Visual Studio Code. You can use directly everything inside Visual Studio itself. And for Mac and Linux, for Mac we have Visual Studio. For Mac there is a separate IDE. For Linux we can use .NET CLI. So you can go to the official documentation of .NET and you can see how to use .NET in Linux also. The bottom line is that .NET is a cross-platform framework. You can write code on any platform, run it on any platform. I
Sounds
think
great.
Thomas, you also asked some extra question related to this. That is the only
Yeah,
question,
so
right?
the other part of that was like if it's possible to also implement backend using different technology than .NET, if there is like some official
Yes,
support for
yes.
libraries for Node, for Java, and stuff like that.
Yeah, we have support for a few backend. Apart from .NET, we can also use Python, Node also. I don't remember all the availability, but there are few language available. Python and Node I know, so you can
Sounds
use
great.
them as a backend as well.
Sounds great. So I hope this answered your question, Vasil. And up next, we have a really great question by Radovan. The text is recognized, but what if the language is not recognized? So an example of that could be that we are uploading a picture of a car and there is like a license plate which has letters and the numbers, but it's not any kind of real language, right? So what will happen in these kind of cases?
Okay, so if the language is not recognized in that case, it will show the language as unknown as per our configuration. The configuration which we have done, it will show language as unknown because the number has no language. Number is languageless. So, but this is a very good scenario, and unfortunately, I do not have an example to show that. But maybe you can get this source code and you can try out that, and we'll see what it returns in this language field over here. I also need to check, to be honest, that what will happen if I upload only language, only digit or number, and we need to see what is the language shown. I think by default it will show English. If the
Mhm.
text, if the text is recognized, and if language is not recognized, then by default it will show English. That is what I believe, but I am not 100% sure at this point.
But we could say that it's safe to assume that like the text will be extracted, so we'll get the response with like extracted text from the image, but maybe the
Yes.
language either will be defaulting to English or maybe it will be unknown, but we will still get our
Yes.
text so we can use it then
Yeah, text,
further.
we can definitely see the text because you are uploading a number. We will it can be recognized and we will definitely see that.
No, that sounds great. So I hope this answers your question, Radovan. And one thing I would like to ask, like personally, is like I really like that English quote about the changing of the thoughts, but I do not speak Hindi, so I had no idea. So I would really like to know what was in that other quote.
In English or Hindi?
In the Hindi, right? What it
Okay.
was the same quote just in the Hindi, or was it like I was just
No, there is some different code. Let me open that. I don't
right?
remember as well. So it is saying that let me see. So it is saying that you have to believe in yourself, then only you will get your desired result.
Oh, that sounds
Like
amazing.
self belief will lead you to your desired result.
Oh, that sounds amazing, and it really fits to the overall topic of this talk, like to achieving stuff and making the world a better
And
place.
yeah, this is the English one.
Right. Cool. Ah, yeah, please show us. Right, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
this you cannot go wrong with that one for sure.
Yes.
So thank you very much, Ankit. It was a very interesting talk. We learned a lot, and hopefully we can see you at some future editions of Angular Day again. So have a great day and see you next time. Ciao, ciao.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you for your time. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye.